Welcome to Smart Remarks, where we used to be supersized until we learned that a little personal downsizing can be a good thing. So as longtime viewers of this feature might have noticed, about 2 years ago I dropped a significant amount of weight, about 50 pounds. It's a long story, but let's just say I went to my 25th high school reunion, had a grand old time until people started posting photos on Facebook. I saw the photos, I thought, who's the whale? Well, the whale was me, and that was it. That was literally the end of it. I started running, I joined a gym, I started working out, dropped 50 pounds really in a matter of just a couple months, and while I've gained a little bit of it back, I'm still up at least 3 days a week at 5:15 a.m. to go to the gym. It's a decision I made for myself. Government didn't have to make it for me, and all Americans ought to make a similar decision for themselves. But of course they don't, and government does try to step in. You've seen where New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg attempted to ban supersized sodas in New York. That ban was struck down by a judge last week who said the City Board of Health exceeded its authority. And of course, Bloomberg's move has been widely ridiculed, especially on the right, as sort of the worst manifestation of the nanny state. And maybe it is, but we can understand why Bloomberg tried to do what he did, right? New Yorkers, Americans, are overweight, and they are unhealthy. As the City Board of Health said, quote, sugary drinks are a leading driver of the obesity epidemic and are associated with dangerous chronic diseases, unquote. Diseases like diabetes and heart ailments, and all of this imposes a cost on society. For the people who don't have health insurance, or the people who maybe work for the government, have taxpayer-paid health insurance, these costs are borne by everyone. And so Bloomberg's move was motivated, at least in part, by a desire to save taxpayer money. You'd think that's something the right would appreciate, but of course they are outraged at his attack on freedom. And down in Mississippi, they even went so far as the legislature did, as to pass what they're calling an anti-Bloomberg bill, which prohibits municipalities from requiring restaurants to post calorie counts on the wall, or prohibits anyone from trying to ban supersized portions. Freedom! Except that Mississippi has the highest, or one of the highest, obesity rates in the nation. So you can make the case that citizens in Mississippi, taxpayers, are paying more than they have to, specifically to defray the costs of this freedom. And this is my problem with conservatism. Yes, the nanny state can be ridiculous, but the issues that drive the actions of the nanny state are very real. And what's the conservative answer to that? The nanny state exists because the many who exercise their freedom exercise it in an irresponsible fashion. They don't make good choices. We all pay for that. And the conservative response seems to be, well, let's just not pay for it. If you make the bad choices, you should bear the consequences of your action. Let them suffer seems to be the conservative way. I don't think it should be the American way. I think maybe, though, there is another way, rather than expanding the nanny state. How about we don't ban supersized sodas, but we tax the heck out of them? Incentives or disincentives can indeed change behavior. And can we all agree that if we were to change Americans' unhealthy behavior, we could save money and we might save lives in the process? I'm not a big fan of the nanny state myself, but I understand why it exists. What I long for is a day when it doesn't have to.